morning and welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm Jack Thomas. I've been asked to host this special edition of Top of the Morning. We'll be right back, so don't touch the remote. Got a lot of things to talk about.
USS Constellation. There's a grand lady in Baltimore who has taken her rightful place as the Inner Harbor's crown jewel in the heart of the Chesapeake Bay. We fire the cannon, turn the capstan, and ring the bell daily, and we recommend the free self-guided audio tour, which comes in two flavors, one perfect for children, the other for adults. Plus, there's the ever-popular Powder Monkey Tour for kids and hands-on adult tours like A Ship as a Machine and Black Sailors in Navy Blue. So welcome aboard USS Constellation and enjoy your visit to the historic sites of the Chesapeake Bay Gateways Network.
We've been asked to host Top of the Morning this morning to be able to tell you about our organization and some of the many outreach projects that we are doing to try to help our community and better our community. Mount Zion United Methodist Church is our organization. I'm the assistant pastor there, the missions and ministry pastor. My sole purpose is to coordinate all of our what we call in-house and out-house ministries. I'll explain out-house in just a little bit. I know that's a funny term. Mount Zion about 3 years ago entered into what we call a 5-year vision plan. The pastor, Bill Hershey, had led the church through some times to be able to figure out what they wanted to do as far as their vision and outreach in the community, and together through a planning retreat, the leaders of the church, through prayer and some fasting, they came up and felt like this was the direction the Lord was leading. 2 years into that is when they hired me. That I came out of that process, as far as my position came out of that process. And the sole purpose that they brought me in was to be able to, as I said, reach out into the community in more creative ways. The world around us is changing. The way church does church anymore is changing. It's not the old 1950s, 1960s style where you do door-to-door evangelism or that kind of thing. The philosophy that we have at Mount Zion is more of a relational philosophy. We feel like that the way we can connect and communicate with people on a better basis is through relationships. And until you are able to meet their physical need, you're not going to be able to meet any spiritual need. There's an old saying, I don't remember who came up with this, but it basically says they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do at Mount Zion through our 5-year mission plan. Mount Zion has, in the past, to some degree, I heard this phrase from many of the people in the congregation and also from some of the people in the community, that they were kind of like a castle on a hill. They were very strong in their Bible teaching and discipleship programs, but they really didn't do a whole lot of outreach or community, so it was more like this castle on a hill that really didn't get involved in their community. The purpose of the 5-year plan was to help them change that and be able to be out into the community and get more exposure. As I said, from that process of the 5-year vision plan, they did want to hire a ministry and missions pastor, and I interviewed from down in Virginia. It's where I was pastoring a church, and they called me up here to accept this position. I've been here about a year and a half, and in the last year and a half we've done a number of things. From anything from a bike-a-thon for cystic fibrosis, where we held a 20-mile bike ride so people could raise money to support cystic fibrosis. We did a gas buy-down where we purchased 50 cents off a gallon for the first 300 customers, per gallon for the first 300 customers that came through. That was huge. People couldn't figure out why would the church want to just give back to the community without expecting anything in return. But being able to buy gas down like that was a great opportunity for us to just be able to connect with the community. And other things we've done have been, we've worked with John Hopkins Priority Partners to be able to do 3 different food drops, as well as help people sign up for health care during that time. And through that process, we've given away a little over $2,000 worth of fresh produce and canned goods, thanks to the Anne Arundel County Food Bank. And with John Hopkins, they were able to sign up about 250 families with health care, families that didn't have health care before. So these are some of the things that we're trying to do in our 5-year vision. It is set out to not just to reach out into the community and us help, because this isn't about Mount Zion. This is about Mount Zion being a part of the community and connecting with other organizations so that we can make the community stronger all the way around. We're going to have to take a break, but when we come back, I want to be able to share a little more specifics about our 5-year vision, what we're trying to do with outreach, and the details, and I'll especially give you, like I said, about what outhouse means and a funny story that goes along with that. But we want to be able to give you the details of what we're trying to do and then share more of the upcoming things that we've got going on. Welcome back. To begin this segment, I wanted to talk with you and just tell you that funny outhouse story. And this is one of the reasons I told this when I was being interviewed by the Staff Parish Relations Committee for the position. Back in Virginia, my neighbor had horses. I'm a horse person and I love horses, but back in Virginia, my neighbor had horses, and I was trying to develop a relationship with these horses. Well, in order to be able to do that, I was taking them apples up every day, and he had about 8 horses in the pasture, and one day I had some apples that were going bad, about a half a bushel. So I decided I would take the whole half bushel up and be able to just give it all to them before they all went bad. I pulled my van up right alongside of the fence line and opened the side door, got the bushel of baskets out. Now this was in the wintertime after it had thawed some, so the ground was sloppy and muddy, and it was also right where they typically eat. And if anybody knows anything about horses, you know that where they eat is typically where they do their business too, so it was really nasty. But I pulled my van up alongside, opened the door, and the lead horse came up, and he saw what I had, and he just wanted to keep the rest of them away. So he started kicking and bucking and everything. And as he was doing that, he was throwing up mud and manure and everything else. And it was not only just going on me, it was going on my van and in my van. So one of the things that I learned through that story that I shared with the Staff Parish Relations Committee was that if you want to build relationships, relationships will always be messy. And so that's why we've called our outreach at Mount Zion, where we're connecting with the community through relationships, our outhouse ministry. So it's kind of a comical thing. I told you a little bit in the last segment about the bike-a-thon. I want to go into a little bit more detail about that because that was a unique experience for Mount Zion. As I said before, they had not really been involved in a lot of major outreach and community connection projects. So we had this vision of being able to use sports to develop relationships, because a lot of people ride bikes anymore. They're hiking. It's a very physical fitness has become huge in society today. And it's one way to really establish relationships with people. And I even told the church, I said, you know, we need to get outside. The churches today need to get outside of their four walls. For so long, we've expected people to come to us. Well, we need to go where they are, and we need to be interested in the things that they're interested in. So that's one of the reasons why we came up with the Bike-a-thon. It was a 20-mile bike ride that would take us through the countryside around Lothian, and it started and finished at Southern High School in Anne Arundel County. Along with that, we had a game set up, a dunk booth, all different kinds, because it was going to be a whole day-long event, not just the bike ride, but we'd have family activities, and we also had a group called Apologetics from up in Pennsylvania. It's a contemporary Christian group. They came in and they take rock and roll, classic country, rap, you name it. They take all different kinds of songs like that, and they turn the lyrics around to give a biblical message, so another funny parody type band. But they came in to do a concert as well, and the day was spent for the sole purpose of raising money for cystic fibrosis. We had quite a bit of businesses, community businesses, that partnered with us in that to be able to make that event happen. And we were able to raise about a little over $5,000 for cystic fibrosis, which for the first year of doing it was not too bad. Being the first event that we ever were able to have, we learned a lot of lessons, we made some mistakes, but to be able to raise even that amount of money just for the first year, we felt was pretty successful. We also, I told you about the gas buy down. Part of that was just to be able to meet people in the streets and connect with them. And at that time, gas was $3.80 something a gallon. So when people saw that they were able to buy gas at $3.30 something a gallon, naturally they pulled in. And we did it with the two gas stations at the Circle on 2, which is just right below us there in Lothian, Gibson's gas station and Moreland's gas station. And a lot of the, as I said before, people are skeptical about churches. Typically, churches in the past have wanted to take from people, will come support us or give to our programs. We're wanting to give back, and that's what our 5-year vision is about. We want to give back to the community, and we really did have one lady say, I cannot believe that the church is giving something away and expecting nothing in return. And in a way, that's sad that she would say that, but in another way, that's good that she would say that, because it shows that we are seeing the need for the church to reach out and meet needs. Some of the other things that we've done in the past couple of years is we've partnered with other area churches for the South County Energy Assistance Network, and in that we are helping people with their fuel oil, with their rent, with electric bills. We've just last year in 2011, our church alone gave away $38,000 to help families in need. And this year, I'm not exactly sure where we are, but we're going to be right at that or a little more this year as well. The economy has hit everyone, and it's very difficult, and that's why we're trying to reach out and find those areas of need to where we can help take those economic woes off of people, give them some breath of air, because if they are troubled about their physical well-being, then they're not going to be able to look deeper or think about any spiritual issues that they may be struggling with as well. I do have more to tell you about, but we're going to take another break right now, and I'll be right back.
I'm the owner and operator of Kilwin's Chocolates and Ice Cream in downtown Annapolis. We're an old-fashioned sweet shop. We don't sell chocolates, fudge, and ice cream here. We sell enjoyment. So if you're coming downtown to have a good time, this is a place to come. So
and everybody's doing everything fresh.
that's right. We make a lot of the stuff right here in the store. Most of the stuff that is made either in our kitchen here or in our other kitchen off-site. So everything is made fresh and it's all very good. So, high top of the morning.
Well, welcome back. I want to get into some of the things that we've got coming up, and especially with our young people. But I want to just clear up one thing from the last segment before we get into that. Our church is not just about helping those who are in physical need as far as financial or whatever, because through the gas buy down and through the bike-a-thon, there were people of all economic levels, middle class, upper class, and even lower class folks that we were helping in those ministries. In a lot of our ministry, we are trying to reach those who are in economic woes, and our youth have really caught on to this vision. Last fall, I was in a Bible study with our youth director. He and I on a Thursday morning men's Bible study group together. And we were studying a passage about the churches giving their offerings out and being able to help the community around them and so forth. And I made the statement, I said, my personal peeve, this is my personal view, that gets me really upset is when people give their leftovers or their second hand to help the poor or the needy. We may go to the cabinet. Now, I grew up in the South, so Spam is something that my mom fixed a lot, but a lot of folks don't like Spam. And people will go to their cabinets and they will get the food that they don't want, or maybe the food that's almost out of date, and give it. And it's like they're giving their second best. And I made that statement on Thursday morning. I said, if we really are truly giving to Jesus, like he said, when you've done it unto one of the least of these, you've done it to me. If we're truly following that philosophy, then rather than giving our second-hand clothes that are out of style or worn out or that we don't want anymore, we would go and purchase new clothes and take it and give out to the poor or to the needy and to help that way. Well, this kind of took the group off guard a little bit, and they thought, I don't know about that too much, but Paul thought about it a little bit more, our youth director, and he went on to, later on that day, he called me and he said, I found a place where we can purchase coats for $25 a piece to be able to give out to the homeless. And I think the youth would really want to do that. So he presented it to the youth and they jumped on board with it. Last year, they were able, I said, if the youth want to raise the money, the church will match whatever they raise dollar for dollar. Thinking, okay, these kids might raise $1,500, $2,000. They ended up raising $4,500. So we were able to purchase over $9,000 worth of brand new coats, which is 408 coats. We were not only able to help our homeless folks in Annapolis area, Anne Arundel House of Hope, Lighthouse, and Sarah's House, but we were also able to help children of our local elementary schools that are on free and reduced lunch that may not be able to afford a new coat for the winter. And that was greatly appreciated. We were able to help about 150 of our kids in our community with those coats, in addition to the homeless folks. This year, though, the youth wanted to step it up a notch. They wanted to continue to do that coat project, but they thought, we really want to follow that pattern of putting ourselves in the place and connecting with and establishing the relationship with those people we're trying to help by trying to understand what they're going through. So the church, they're also raising money again for the coats, but they're doing it with a twist. They're doing it with a program called 30 Hours of Homelessness. And what they're going to do is they're going to go 30 hours on Friday, November the 16th, starting at noon, to Saturday, November the 17th at 6 p.m. They're not going to eat anything but a sandwich that we give them during that 30 hours, because that may be all the food that some homeless folks get during a 24 or 30-hour period. On top of that, they've said that after school on Friday, they're going to come down to our church and they're going to build a cardboard refugee camp out in the front yard and be able to sleep outside underneath the cardboard in the cold, so that they can get a feel for what it's like to be homeless and say, these are the people we're trying to help. it just blows my mind that young people really want to be involved on a level like that, to understand, and that they're willing to commit time. If you want to sponsor one of our kids, you can do that. You can contribute money. $25 purchases a new coat, and you can sponsor a child on an hourly basis, or you can give a flat donation for that. You can send it to our church, Mount Zion United Methodist Church at 122 Bayard Road, Lothian, Maryland, and just mark it Lifeline Coat Project, and that would be one way that you could help these youth and be able to support. Also, as part of that weekend, we are having what we call our third Saturday servants, where the third Saturday of every month, that's when most of these events that I've been telling you about happen. The third Saturday of every month from 8 to noon, 4 hours, the third Saturday of every month, we go out into the community and do these things. We're adding that in as part of that weekend because we're also doing a blood drive for to help folks from the Hurricane Sandy and Red Cross with their need, especially coming up in the holiday season. We have a knitting ministry that goes on during that time, where some of the older ladies of our church are partnering with the youth by knitting hats to be able to give to the kids that are in the homeless shelters. We also have freezer meals, to where people who may have been in the hospital or had something going on like that where they can't fix their own meals, we can give them a frozen meal. We prepare it and freeze it and then give it to them, so all they've got to do really is just stick it in the microwave or the oven and heat it up, and they don't have to worry about trying to feed their families while they're recovering. Also, another aspect of what the youth are doing is they've asked Fellowship of Christian Athletes with Southern High School to be a part of this, and there'll be a lot of those kids helping in this 30 hours of homelessness as well. So all of these things are going on that weekend. If you don't want to support us financially, but you would love to be a part of some of our ministries and outreach and be a part of these Third Saturday Servant projects, feel free to give me a call at the church, 410-867-4035. Again, that number is 410-867-4035, and we can get you involved with us in helping the community. Well, welcome back. This is our final short segment, and I do want to wrap up and give you a few thoughts. I hope that we've given you quite a bit already to think about and ponder, especially when it comes to new ways of building relationships and ministering to those outside of the wall. The church really does need to be more about reaching people where they are rather than trying to get people to come to them. Folks, again, I'm going to repeat the statement that I said before. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Also, World Vision, Dr. Bob Pierce had made the statement that when he took over World Vision, his prayer was, "Let my heart be broken by the things that break the heart of God." And one of the things that I've taken that prayer as my own personal prayer, and I've shared it with our church many times. But one of the things that I feel like that breaks God's heart the most is when churches feel like that they want to do more about teaching people and sharing their knowledge with people before they meet the physical need. James says, "You want to show me your faith? I'll show you my faith by my works." And I think that's the way churches need to do. If you would like to be a part and help Mount Zion with their coat project or any other project like this, you can contact us at 410-867-4035. Or if you want to support one of our kids with a monetary gift in the Coat Project Ministry, again, the address is 122 Bayard Road, that's B-A-Y-A-R-D Road, Lothian, Maryland, 20711. And you can mark your checks made payable to Mount Zion United Methodist Church with Lifeline Project in the 4-line. All contributions are tax deductible. In leaving you with some final thoughts, keep in mind as you go forward each day, no matter how bad your situations are, there's probably somebody in a whole lot worse situation than you. And we have a lot to be thankful for as individuals, and especially as people of faith, because no matter how bad it gets in this world, we have an eternity of a whole lot better to look forward to as well. Thank you again for allowing me this opportunity to be with you on Top of the Morning. Again, I hope we gave you some food for thought.